I just think a lot of people are trying to achieve success and use fame or money as makeup for a situation that they're just not happy about. Like, you have to figure out how to make your day in and day out happy. Like, otherwise you're gonna be impatient and try to be out of it as quickly as possible to buy those things. Or you're gonna regret it later in life, right? I think the people that are workaholics that regret missing their family is it didn't make them as happy as they thought. They didn't take advantage of the family time. That, like, this is just a big happiness game to my life. And so I figure out what makes me happy, and so like, that's what I do, and you need to figure out what that is, and I just don't understand how people think wealth is the gateway to happiness. I just don't. Or, you know, the gateway to happiness is to love your process, whatever that may be, whether that creates wealth or doesn't, if that creates legacy and art or it doesn't, that creates impact on the world or it doesn't. You've gotta try and figure that out at all costs. And if you're not happy right now, you need to do something different. You just have to, if you are not happy right now, you have to break your patterns and you have to look at life from a different perspective. You have to find a different angle to look at it from, because this shit goes fast even though it's long. I think our purpose finds us. I feel like things come to me. I think one could argue that I'm doing the behavior that allows that to happen. But for some reason, I believe that you're chosen a little bit, and because I believe a little bit more in DNA than I think most people. I like making people feel good because it makes me feel good. I'm being selfish by providing others value because it brings me my biggest joy. Let me tell you what luck is. Luck is that you were built in a way where that is genuinely the way you feel, because then you actually do it because you love it, and then enormously awesome happens to you. So how do you think I work so hard? Because I'm filled with gratitude that I was built that way, because that gift is the thing. I've decided I'm gonna share something. For a lot of you that have watched for a long time, this is gonna be a cool moment, I think, if you think it's cool. Truth is, I talk a lot about the strategy of 51-49, giving a little bit more for the leverage of it. The truth is, it's my most natural joyous state. You know, I've molded it, I've experienced the benefits of it from a business standpoint. But I didn't think that way when I was 8 years old, when I was 10 years old, and on my 10th birthday when my grandma took me to Toys R Us, I decided to buy my sister a Cabbage Patch doll because I knew she would be more excited about me doing that than me buying anything at Toys R Us. Listen, everybody close their eyes and think about the person that brings you the most like happiness and love and value. You're always trying to be around that person. I know tens of thousands of people. I know thousands of people extremely well. I know hundreds of people deeply well. There is no correlation between how much money someone makes and their level of happiness. I have friends who make $47,000 a year and are the happiest people I know. Their work-life balance is on point. They're part of 2 soccer teams, they play video games, they watch every show they want, they take 2 vacations that they scrap together, and they're freaking happy as hell. And I know tons of people who I grew up with in the Silicon Valley boom who have hundreds of millions of dollars in their bank account and are as miserable and as lonely and as broken as you'll ever see. So I implore all of you to please reverse engineer and figure out who you are. I don't want to lay in a swan in a pool. I don't want to. I don't want to go to Ibiza for 4 days. I do not want to. I don't. I want to sit there and smile. I'm literally the reverse human. People go in their feeds and they have FOMO because everybody's in Ibiza and swans. Yeah. I'm smiling because I'm like, you're in Ibiza. Big. And like, to me, the game matters. And by the way, somebody may be looking and being like, Gary looks like 4 a.m., 6 flights in Asia, and I'm sitting here in Ibiza. And for her or him, that's winning, and that's great. Yeah. Figure out what your winning is. My winning is different than a lot of people's. I don't get envy, I get excited, I get competitive, I enjoy it, I enjoy my thing. What's your thing that makes you the happiest? I actually believe the statement I'm about to make. I think that I love the journey and the game of entrepreneurship so much that I have subconsciously sabotaged my financial upside to make sure I can play this a little longer because I fear if the numbers keep getting too big, eventually it will take the fun out of it. When you are lucky enough, like I am, to actually do something that you love so much, do something that puts pressure against the one thing you care about besides it, which is the time I spend with my family. My family is my whole life. And being this and doing this is the only thing that cuts into that. I couldn't breathe if I wasn't an entrepreneur. I didn't breathe when I wasn't an entrepreneur. That's the reason I got D's and F's in school, because I just couldn't be me. And I'm not capable of that. Fun's a great gateway to, fun is the precursor to ridiculous amount of work, which then gets you there. Yeah. Because it's fun, you're willing to work your face off. Right. And working your face off is actually the gateway. It's not the fun. The fun is the doorway that gets you to put in the work, that gets you the results. Be binary about your decisions. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Don't overthink jumping into your first job and then quit it the next day if it doesn't feel right. It's not a end all be all if the first one's not right.
I know. That's the biggest thing.
Nobody's gonna give a f if you've got 4 companies on your resume in the first 2 years. No place you wanna end up.
Yeah.
I'm not scared because I know I can handle anything.
That's awesome.
You know, and I know I can handle anything because I'm grateful for everything I've got, and I never envy and want anything else. I'm an optimist. Mm-hmm. Like, if something bad happens tomorrow, I would default into thinking, well, I'm so grateful that I've had it for this long. Yeah. Instead of like, why did it go away? Do you love your process? Like, are you enjoying it? Like, is this fun? I'm sure he's a lovely dude. Is this fun that you're filming this? Or are you doing it because you think it's gonna get you to the next level of success? So I think what you need to think about is a very big reason acting probably worked out was you both thought it could bring you something you were looking for from a level of attention and success and fame and dollars, but you also liked it. Because otherwise, if you didn't like it, you would have quit after the 3rd no at auditions. When you do something for money, you quit. When you do it because you love it, you do it forever. I think right now, we live in a world that has so much data that people are living towards the numbers. How many likes, how many followers, how much capital I've raised. It becomes a numbers race, and it usually leads to bad behavior because when you're chasing a number that people can see, you often take shortcuts. Every one of the kids everybody who's watching this on YouTube right now, every 17-year-old is like, they got the parents' pressure, and I keep telling these kids, I'm like, you're better off being upset and having issues now, because if you listen to them and become a lawyer and you wake up at 39 and you're miserable, you're gonna fucking regret it, and you're gonna blame your parents for the rest of your life, and you guys are gonna have 30 years of bad relationship instead of 30 months. Mm-hmm. The key is to be happy with yourself. Right. Like, I have no interest in making you happy about my work-life balance. You worry about your work-life balance. Like, my key is first me, and this is in order, then my kids and my wife, because if I'm happy, then I can do anything for them, and that's it. Right. And that's what matters. And if this feels good for now, then great. But I'm happy for me, and I want people to be happy for them. And if that means 9 to 5, and if that means $49,000 a year in income, and you're happy as hell, well, then you've won. The enormous minority of unhappy people in our society are dramatically louder and are impacting us more than the far majority of us that are happy and good. There's only so much I can do about being happy and documenting my happy journey. I'm trying to pressure the other people that are happy to talk about it too. I just think we're in a very awkward time. I think it's rubbernecking, and it's just the way it is, right? Like, we pay more attention to the negative than the positive. It's just how I feel about the world. Like, I think human beings are the most underrated thing of all time. You know what I mean? I do. We are strong as shit. We're really f***ing strong. We're just being sold that we're not, because there's a lot of money in telling us that we're not pretty enough, thin enough, smart enough, good enough. Fuck that. I want to tell you, you're the fucking best. Go do shit.